you ready for your first question?
Yes.
You can ask me to repeat it as many times as you need. As you may know, the Cooperative Education Chairs are responsible for hosting AB Samahan's high school conference every year. This is one of AB Samahan's biggest events on par with FACN. This event is done at the end of the first semester after two other major events, FG and Kasama. How will you encourage the support of your executive board, especially your co, in planning this event when burnout may be very prominent? How will you divide the work between you and your co during planning?
Can you just repeat the question part, please?
How will you encourage the support of your executive board, especially your co, in planning this event when burnout may be very prominent? How will you divide the work between you and your co during planning?
Thank you for that question. I think to encourage everyone to help out with this is to get started with planning early, so that when it comes time for them to help, it's really the fun part of like learning everything and really knowing what's happening. I'm especially going to utilize SoarBoard to help me plan this, because I know eBoard is very busy and they have so many other things to deal with. I think to encourage them is just to make it as fun as possible, keep my morale up. You know, people know me for my smile a lot of the time, so just make sure they see that and make sure they see that this is going to be a fun event where all of us can have a lot of fun with it. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. Sorry, I had to drink water. How will you encourage the support of your executive board, especially your co, in planning this event when burnout may be very prominent? How will you divide the work between you and your co during planning?
I think dividing the work with my co is just communicating really early, especially now because we're gonna know our position so early. We can start during the summer, so just getting a jump on that communication and planning will make it a lot easier for us to just divide up the work. And then obviously playing to our strengths, this being a co-position, we can really divide the work evenly and look at what we're good at. So yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for your second question?
Yeah.
Okay. HSC isn't the only event that the Cooperative Education Chairs plan. In the spring, the Cooperative Education Chairs plan our Filipino graduation ceremony. This ceremony involves finding a keynote speaker and purchasing stoles. The planning happens in sync with FACN, making it a project that isn't top priority to the executive board. How will you work with your SOAR board and your co to purchase, plan, and outreach to graduates so PhilGrad can happen, especially when budget is limited due to the reimbursements for FACN, banquet, and other SOAR workshops?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Just the question or the whole thing?
The whole thing, please.
Okay. HSC isn't the only event that the Cooperative Education Chairs plan. In the spring, the Cooperative Education Chairs plan our Filipino graduation ceremony. This ceremony involves finding a keynote speaker and purchasing stoles. The planning happens in sync with FACN, making it a project that isn't top priority to the executive board. How will you work with your SOAR board and your co to purchase, plan, and outreach to graduates so PhilGrad can happen, especially when budget is limited due to the reimbursements for FACN, banquet, and other SOAR workshops?
So thank you for that question. I think obviously again, just getting a jump on it early. All these graduates are very excited for it, so they're going to be looking for that post on when to buy their stoles. So immediately when that second semester starts, that first meeting, we should definitely have an announcement. Hey, PhilGrad is happening. We have your stoles ready. Let's start the ordering process now. And then obviously since FACN is so big, again, relying more on the SOAR board than eBoard. With that communication, definitely putting it out on social media as much as possible, because everyone is looking at that nowadays. Can you repeat the question part, please?
Just the question part?
Yes, please.
How will you work with your SOAR board and your co to purchase, plan, and outreach to graduates so PhilGrad can happen, especially when budget is limited due to the reimbursements for FACN, banquet, and other SOAR workshops?
As for the budget, I think keep it very simple. Anything for these graduates is going to mean a lot to them. So obviously working on the best speaker, and then anything else can kind of just be like very simple stuff for them. A lot of the stuff can be made by us because that's just a lot easier on the budget, and it will just mean so much more to them if it's made from us.
Alright. Are you ready for your final question?
Yes.
In recent years, SOAR can be seen as the least taken advantage of auxiliary, showing less numbers than any other auxiliary. How will you encourage the participation of GBMers in the SOAR space building the SOAR community?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, my fault. The entire question.
Yes, please.
In recent years, SOAR can be seen as the least taken advantage of auxiliary, showing less numbers than any other auxiliary. How will you encourage the participation of GBMers in the SOAR, or in the SOAR space, building the SOAR community?
So I do believe SOAR can be one of the biggest auxiliaries in the club. I want it to be a lot more social of a club. So I think adding those cafe fundraisers that we did this year and putting the SOAR on it will make it a lot more popular. People need spaces off campus to study, so those fundraisers, teaching these underclassmen where they can study is a great spot. And then obviously those decompression sessions that I really want to emphasize. I care a lot about mental health. As a psychology major, that's all I really think about. So I think just a place where people can just chill and, have some fun outside of something they're working towards. Because in FG and FACN, yes, there's a TAU board and there's the coaches, but you're always working towards something. In SOAR board, you're not working towards anything but your own education. So that's where you can really, have fun. I think you can meet people, and I think that's going to start with just creating a SOAR board that's very involved, very open to making these connections with the underclassmen, and in turn helping them make connections with each other. So not just using it as tutoring, but just as a social space, because I think that's something that the underclassmen will really want, and that just starts with us creating that SOAR board early and getting them out there and into tutoring sessions as quickly as possible. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. In recent years, SOAR can be seen as the least taken advantage of auxiliary, showing less numbers than any other auxiliary. How will you encourage the participation of GBMers in the SOAR space, building the SOAR community?
Lastly, I'd like to add that I want to take SOAR outside of the library, outside of this lounge. I really like the outdoors. I know a lot of us usually like it too, so I think making tutoring sessions go outside of those places, outside in the lawn, outside on E&S field, just outside in general, will increase participation and people coming to our events.